Happy College Radio Day, WNUW. Me and Justice are here with Champ Talk, and we're excited to get into the episode today. You know, we got some good stuff. We're going to talk about the games upcoming, kind of mix up the flow a little bit, and try to bring you some good stuff. How you doing this morning, Just?
No complaints here. No complaints. We want to get into the news around the league to start. I don't know if you watched that game yesterday, but what a great game. Finally a good Thursday night game, not one of those games that you just sit there and watch and like, what am I watching? But finally happy to get a good game on a Thursday night. I think it should finally come to a realization in the NFL that there should be overtime rules should be different. I think both teams should finally get to touch the ball like college.
I think in the playoffs, it's the right call. At the end of the day, right, you're just trying to not you're just trying to get through the game, but at the end of the day, in a regular season game, I don't think it's the end of the world. But I think they made the right call of at least switching it for the playoffs. But I did not watch the game. I went to Applebee's, half price apps. You know, I love my half price apps. Don't get me wrong, but how do you go to an Applebee's in America and they do not have the current Thursday night football game on?
It's Applebee's. What do you expect?
Who cares? Dude, I was watching the Packers versus the Vikings from last weekend. I'm like, how do we not have on the game that is currently going on? And we're watching reruns instead. I mean,
they thought that was the game.
I guess that's what you get when you go to Aston Applebee's, but
yeah. Shout out Aston Applebee's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Great food, great service last night, but I don't know how you don't get the game on. No, that game looked insane. I was watching the box score the entire time. Really, you're looking at...
I mean, Kirk Cousins dropping 509 yards.
509, yeah.
With, 4 or 5 touchdowns, I think it was something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Beating Matt Ryan's record on Matt Ryan Day when they put him in the ring.
Was it actually?
Yeah, they put him in the Ring of Honor.
I was always a big Matt Ryan fan, but I think Kirk Cousins, you're finally seeing him get his legs back under him like we've been longing to see. I feel like he just needed those first couple games to really get back to what he was capable of. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is amazing, but he's one of those guys who's going to be in the top 12 to 8 quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to be able to win you some football games if you need him to.
I mean, primetime Kirk. You know, I never heard of him when he was when he was with the Vikings, but look at him now. 2 primetime comeback wins.
It's miraculous. It's a miracle.
But what I want to go off with you said with the whole thing with regular season game getting the game over with. I don't think it should be like college, right? Where if both teams scores, you go on. I think at least you should at least let both teams touch the ball.
Both teams touch the ball. Do you think it becomes an issue though when the first team goes, now we're just going for 2-pointers? Right away, and it's like...
Well, I don't think you go for a 2-pointer, right? I think...
Well, the second team would definitely, right?
I don't know. Do you want to win the game? Do you want to tie it? Do you want to lose? Like, it's a...
Well,
it depends on the head coach.
It's, I don't know. It's a big thing to try to justify.
I'm just more mad about it because I had Baker 200 yards. May or may not have, so I was a little more mad. I thought he was going to get the ball back, but it is what it is.
Yeah. The biggest takeaway from that game for me was just... Atlanta running the ball only 18 times and throwing it 58 times.
Well, does Bijan look like Bijan should really be? I mean, he hasn't really shown anything this year.
I don't know, but this game, but they won the games at the end of the day. Who really cares?
Yeah.
But I feel like Bijan has looked good in the spots where he's been actually given the good runs. I feel like a lot of times when you watch these games, Bijan's getting carries out of the out of spread, out of pistol, and then Algiers getting runs out of shotgun, and then you see Algier go for 8 yards to start the game. I know he only finished with 12 on 6, which isn't good, but like, why wouldn't you have these better running backs? Are you trying to force so many weird different types of runs and running out of the pistol and running out of...
You see it from a lot of teams now,
shotgun,
right?
That's what I don't get.
The Eagles are not... You're not giving Saquon the runs you should be, right? The Eagles are playing poor right now, and that comes off of... I think it comes off of quarterback play.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts is not who he used to be. I get that he's missing 2 receivers, but even when they were in, I felt like they weren't... But he wasn't all that. But
I don't... you can't blame not having your receivers on
not running. It
being
comes down to
a horrible game manager.
Yep.
having completely disastrous turnovers and not even completing a ball to any of your wide receivers. And don't get me wrong, Jahan Dotson,
Yeah, but you
Paris Campbell,
You know, you traded
and
for Jahan
who's
Dotson.
the other one who's their
He
fifth
got
wide
hurt.
receiver?
He's the Covey, Brenton Covey.
Covey. It's like these guys are not like if you put those three as starting wide receivers in the league, they might not be the worst three starters, in
No.
my opinion.
I think Jahan. You made all that trade talk for Jahan Dotson. Right?
Yeah.
You went out and traded for him, and now he's doing nothing for you.
yeah,
Like I picked him up in fantasy, thought he was gonna be. He's gonna at least get 4 or 5 catches a game. You know, and be a
at
nice
least
little
at
flex.
least 4 or 5
He
targets.
gets 1 target a
Yeah.
game, and maybe 1 catch.
and
if
I
that.
don't. Maybe they're not implementing him right, or they're not.
Like
whatever.
I said, I
but
think it comes down to coaching because you trade for Saquon, right? You make that big buzz to go and get Saquon. You pay him all that money, and you're not going to run the ball.
I mean, he's been amazing
yeah. I mean, but they don't run with him until it's like the second quarter, and you're already down. They were down 14-0. No, they were down 21-0 into the second quarter.
with like zero yards.
Yeah, 0 total yards. I mean, how do you get 21 skunked in the
Yeah.
first quarter? But
Beats me. I mean, that really just. This is completely off topic, but that really awoke something in me. My favorite stat line of the entire weekend: Bo Nix 7 for 15 for negative
7
7
yards.
yards.
And you still win the game. You have that stat line at half, and you still manage to beat the Jets.
Oh my
Who
god!
everyone is talking about the Jets are all that this year.
I thought the Jets were gonna be pretty good.
It's
I mean, they
another
had
Brett
the
Favre
defense back.
situation.
They had jeez. It really is, huh? They have. I mean, Rodgers isn't looking amazing, but really it comes down to me. Their O line is continually unimpressive, and their play calling and schematics are just borderline.
But Brees Hall, what do you have,
Disgusting.
7 yards?
yeah, how does a guy that good
I mean,
have such little?
you can blame it on the offensive line, but like I said, look at Saquon. He had 1,000 yards the past 2 years with the Giants' offensive line.
Yeah, but same time, Saquon had those games where he'd go for 20 for
200,
3
yeah.
yards. Like,
yeah.
trust me, because I'm a big Saquon fan too. I know, well, you being a Giants fan.
I still love him. I love
but
Saquon.
I always was a Saquon fan, especially fantasy wise. But he had those games, and I'm like, jeez,
yeah.
this guy looks like a bum. But it's the fact that he gets getting tackled before he even gets back to the line of scrimmage. And
And then what about Garrett Wilson? The biggest fantasy bum we've seen this year, I feel like.
not the biggest.
I mean, for
With
where
Christian
he's drafted,
McCaffrey not even playing.
well, but that's not his fault. You know, he got injured.
Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, him and Kyle Pitts both. Kyle Pitts dropping a big goose egg last
Yeah.
week was, I mean, finally, he had 80 yards this week?
88 yards on 7 receptions.
I mean,
gotta love it.
Yeah, but like I said, for Garrett Wilson to be drafted first round in some leagues, you know,
Oh yeah.
for him to just not drop anything.
It's so tough because like the Jets have had a pretty hard schedule in terms of defensive matchups. I mean, you play the Broncos, the Patriots, like 2 of the better like number 1 corners in the league.
Yeah, but you expose the Patriots, right? You go in there and destroy the Patriots, and then you come to the Broncos, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about why cornerback 1 matchups.
No, I get that. And for Garrett Wilson.
For Garrett Wilson.
That makes sense.
But like if you're that good, you got to be able to beat those guys still. And I think I think Rodgers, it's taken him longer to get the cobwebs off than it is Kirk Cousins right now.
Well, I don't know. I think Kirk Cousins had that really bad first game, right? Looked horrible.
He didn't look great his first 2.
The second one he looked
okay,
he looked like he
but
was,
he still had a pick. And
they were pinpointing his throws last night, and his anticipation was great, right? Putting the ball like that on that third down where Mooney dropped the ball. I don't know if you saw that. There was a highlight.
I heard of it.
He threw the ball before Mooney even was like getting out of his split, and Mooney turned around and the ball was in his hands.
Yeah.
That's why he dropped it. I mean, it's such a good play, but just not anticipating the ball to be in your hands as soon as you turn around.
And
right?
I mean, free Darnell Mooney is basically all I'm gonna say.
That's what happens when you finally get a team.
He finally got a quarterback, and I mean, I don't know if there's many football fans who haven't seen the highlight of him absolutely destroying some guy at the line, running up the field. It was like on the 10-yard line, and Fields put it over his head when he was wide open.
It just, I
I
think
mean,
it comes,
I think he's really good.
I do too, and I think it comes down to, you're seeing it this year. I think the Bears are just the organization where people go to die, right? You got Justin Fields lighting it up with the Steelers. You know, he's playing well. He had
He looks definitely better than he did.
30
He looks better than he
points yesterday.
did in Chicago.
Yeah, and I mean, look at you got.
I don't
Caleb
think he
Williams.
looks great, so I still think if you put Russell back in, that team would be better.
Yeah, I think it comes down to defense, but I think he's performing. I think he's
Yeah.
doing what he has to do.
Especially last week, 300 yards, 50 on the ground, a passing
I think he had
touchdown and 2 rushing.
Yeah, 3 total touchdowns. But Caleb Williams, I know he's only a rookie. I know he came out. Everyone thought he was going to be that guy, but he's just underperforming.
Yeah, that Bears team looks horrendous. I think the coaching staff might be worse.
Well, that was your problem. You should have never got rid of Fields.
Yeah.
You should have drafted someone.
No, I still like that. I think your upside with Caleb Williams is much greater than your upside was.
They made
with
all
Justin
the right
Fields.
moves, but they didn't make the one good move they should have did was fire everyone. Like they should have fired the head coach.
Did they not get a new head coach?
Or it was one of the coordinators that is still the offensive coordinator.
The offensive coordinator is there right now. I mentioned it to you earlier. He's a guy who's with the Seattle Seahawks last year. And there's a clip of Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver. Is it his third year? Third year out of college.
I think he's the second.
Second.
I think
His
he was
second.
a rookie last year.
No, third. I think it's his
I'll look
third.
it up
Double
right
check it. Yeah. Second, third year out of college, and he was asked a question during a media interview, and he's basically like, "Oh, what do you think of your old OC going to the Bears?" And he's like, "Oh, is this live?" No, I'm just joking. He's really good. Like literally the most backhanded compliment of all time is basically calling the guy out. And then you look at his route tree from his previous season. He might be a second year now. They say
2023 was his draft.
yeah.
Yep.
So last year you see him. He ran about 4 routes, 3 to 4 different routes, and that was all he would run in game. Just those 3 to 4 routes. This year he's running probably 20 plus different routes, and the amount of completions, the completion percentage towards him, and the amount of targets he got compared to this time last year, compared to his highest targets last year, is already doubled.
Well, I mean, look at the Seahawks.
And
now.
then you go back to look at DJ Moore. DJ Moore is running probably 20 different routes. A lot of his plays were 20 plus yards downfield. And yes, Caleb Williams hasn't been as good as we all hope,
No.
but he's still been better, just as good as Justin Fields been throwing the ball wise. But now DJ Moore is only running 4 different types of routes.
Yeah, and to
just-
point out, you're saying with throwing the ball just as well. We know Justin Fields isn't a thrower, right? You know, he's more of a scrambler. And the fact that Caleb Williams is supposed to be that pocket passer, right? He's supposed to be that presence in the pocket. He's just not doing it right now.
But
And it's
I think last game was very uplifting now for a lot of his fans.
yeah, I think he's gonna
Last two.
do well. I just think, like I said, it's where quarterbacks go to die. It's where careers go to die. I feel like it just ruins everyone.
It's like the Jets for the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And now look at the Panthers, right? I mean, that organization is just a joke. They finally won a game.
I mean, I'm not blaming Bryce Young.
No,
I've always thought
you
Bryce
said-
Young
and-
was undersized
and you
coming
said
out.
it last week. You said he should have sat behind and let him develop, right?
Yeah, it should have always been
You're
like
throwing
that.
a guy into a horrible organization with who's your wide receiver one, right? Adam Thielen, who's what?
Thielen.
Probably
Who's good?
33.
Who's good? But he's
33 though.
33,
Yeah,
and
I mean you got Deontay Johnson, who's
Yeah.
good, right? But he's
now
not.
you do.
He's not your number one. Like he'll be a one, but not yet, and not with him. And I think
He's like the top slot receiver in the game, basically.
yeah. And then you have
But that's not a one.
O line who just is abysmal.
Yeah,
right? Why?
it's
like,
better, but not great.
so.
still.
And you have Chuba Hubbard at running back, right? Not great, but he's not horrible.
I mean, they got Brooks. They've done the right things to make the improvements down the line, but they haven't done the right stuff to get Bryce Young ready to play. And don't get me wrong, Bryce Young, his accuracy has been horrendous.
Yeah.
But they should never throw. It's like throwing them into the fire. It's like throwing a firefighter into the fire without any protective gear.
Yeah,
That's what they basically did.
But you see, most of these guys, they come in and they have someone to look like mentor after, right?
Yeah.
No one for him.
No. And I don't know. I think it's going to be, hopefully it's a wake-up call to other teams in future years. Whoever gets drafted in this next class, whether it's Ewers or Sanders or
Ward,
who's a George
Cam
guy?
Ward.
Cam Ward looks good.
Carson Beck.
We should talk about him soon.
I don't like Carson Beck. I think he's on
No,
a
he's
good Georgia
overrated.
team.
He's another one of those guys who
I think
has great
Jalen-
weapons and can't really do much.
I think Jalen Milroe is going to be really good. You don't think so?
No.
Huh.
He
I
looks a
think
lot better this year, though. A lot
Cam
calmer.
Cam
a
Ward's
lot-
going to be good.
Yeah. He's looked impressive so far.
College football has been exciting to watch. I don't know if you're a college football guy.
I'm not, but I'm getting into it.
I've been getting into it just because.
I haven't been watching as much just because my Saturdays are usually that's my day. That's like
Yeah.
busy. But no, I like following along. I'm a big Quinn Ewers fan. Not even saying he's
I
like
love
the best
Arch.
player.
I love Arch
But
Manning.
I've been a fan since he was in high school, and dude, his high school highlights are sick.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, for him to get hurt though, it sucks. But
Yeah.
Arch Manning finally get a shot,
but it was probably good for Arch Manning. I mean,
Yeah.
you play half of your sophomore season,
and then
and then he'll probably get drafted after his junior if he continues to build. I mean, he has
He's-
been amazing,
he's
but he
gonna
looks
be,
good.
He's gonna be another Marvin Harrison, right? He's a legacy. You know Marvin Harrison Jr. He
Who's
hasn't
that? Nah, I'm kidding.
Been, I was gonna say what? He hasn't been
The
playing
punter
great.
for the Colts.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He hasn't been playing great, but it's a legacy, right? Your dad is Marvin Harrison, so
Yeah.
you're gonna and same thing with Arch, right? 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in your family tree,
Yeah, and
and you have another dad.
and
as
his
your,
and his dad probably was the best one of them in college. And then he got hurt. No, I thought Arch was sick. Oh no, they call him the best athlete of the family,
yeah, he was the best athlete. I don't think he was the
and
best
that's
player.
why you see it in Archie.
Yeah,
Oh my god,
everywhere,
He
yeah.
had some wheels.
He's not just a pocket passer.
No,
Like
but he's the common breed of quarterback that you want.
mm-hmm.
Like he's not the guy that you go out and you're like, where you're like he's a pocket passer. No, he's like the type of guy who he wants to stay in the pocket, but if the pocket breaks down, he's running. It's like
And-
the Josh Allen doesn't.
You know
do
who
it
he
as
looks like?
much, but-
Baker. Baker looks really good. Another guy.
Yeah.
He's
Circle
not,
all the way back to the beginning for us right
Yeah,
now,
honestly,
talking
it's
about
just-
the Bucks game because I wanted to talk about some Baker.
and not even the Bucks game. Talk about those Panthers, right? You've got Baker who was on that team.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. Who,
Yeah, and
We got to dig up the clips of me saying Sam
then look
Darnold
at-
is going to be the starter and going to be good for the Vikings this
look
year.
at the Browns, right? You've got
Deshaun
you
Watson.
gave all that money to Deshaun Watson thinking he's going to be the answer, and now you got Baker Mayfield
and now
tearing
he's
it up.
still has allegations
Yeah.
and all this.
But I mean, you look at
all this
Baker, right?
crap.
If you watch last night's game, you can watch the highlights.
I mean,
He-
I've watched Baker this whole year.
He's not-
He is looking amazing. He looks so calm, and he's really going back to when you saw him in college. The type of throws he was making, the confidence he had.
Calm in the pocket.
Yeah.
And once that pocket collapses, he's not afraid to use his legs, and he's able to get out of the pressure.
I mean, it's what happens when you finally build a good offense, good schemes.
Yeah, I mean, you have.
And you give the guy a little bit of support. Like the Browns, who's his top receiver when he was even there? I can't
Amari
remember.
Cooper wasn't
was
on
Cooper
the team,
still
right?
there?
No, I don't think he wasn't
He
there
might
yet.
have been there for the last year.
I don't even know who it would have been.
And like, I mean, the Baker Mayfield incident was horrendous for the Browns because he played really good for them and then was just thrown to the curb. Like he wasn't he the first quarterback to bring them to the playoffs in
Yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes after that, he gets dropped. Didn't he get cut? He didn't even finish out his rookie deal, or no, he did. He did finish out his rookie deal. And then he goes to Carolina, then the Rams, redemption game on the Rams, and then I mean the Bucks. The Bucks stole away their future quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just comes to show you like some of these guys' careers are not ready to call quits, especially when they were played so young. Like these guys who come in and play right away, you could tell that
It's hard.
it's hard on them, but when they finally get a chance to actually sit down and learn, how much better they get.
Well, I mean,
I can name Sam Darnold, who's played amazing this year. It's only been 4 weeks, but he looks different. His calmness.
well, and the thing is,
Did you see that throw to J. Jeff?
Yeah,
Oh my
he just
God.
looks great, and like
Baker.
I saw him in person, right? I got
Yeah.
to see him in person
Oh,
when they
did you
played the
get
Giants.
when you went to
And everyone went in like as a Giants fan. I'm like, oh, we're gonna kill them, right? It's the Vikings. They have Sam Darnold. You know, who do they even have on defense? They picked up Stephon Gilmore, working out for him. He still
Did
looks
they?
great.
Oh my God.
He still looks great for how old he is. But I thought it was just gonna be cakewalk, and then I watched. I was like, okay, they look decent, right? The Giants
Mhm.
just suck. That's what my conclusion was. Daniel Jones looked horrible.
But then you watch them
and then
week
you
after
continue to
week,
watch them play.
and you're
And
like,
I forget. Gene said to me, Gene's like, Sam Darnold just diced up your team. What are you gonna do about it? I was like, that's horrible. And then I keep going. I'm like, Sam Darnold's dicing up every team he's playing.
Oh my God, that throw to Justin Jefferson. I'll go back to that a million times. That was one of the nastiest throws I've seen in years.
That was the one-handed, right?
The one hand, dude.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson running upfield, turns as he's catching it. It hits him in the chest, over the defender's shoulder, running up the field 20 yards downfield for a touchdown.
Yeah, and
It was nasty work.
it just, like you said, it comes down to, in this situation, right? Jaden Daniels. I'll go back to last year, actually. You know, Bryce Young getting drafted to a team with nothing. He not underperforms, right? He just plays bad.
Yeah.
He's on a bad team. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You've got Devin Singletary.
You had weapons.
You have weapons, and you win. And now look at Jaden Daniels on a team with, someone tried to tell me that the Washington offense is trash.
It doesn't have a lot, but like
I mean, you have
but you got
Austin Eckler.
Terry McLaurin, man, that guy's a stud. I
Yeah.
mean, I've talked
You
about
have a
we've
great
talked
wide
about it.
receiver one. You have a veteran
Dude,
in Zach Ertz who
They got Noah Brown too.
yeah,
like-
Zach Ertz is going to be just a veteran presence there. He knows where to go. He's not fast, but he understands the game.
Eckler and Brian Robinson are both
One of
very
the
good
best-
running backs.
Probably one of the best running back duos in the league right now. Behind
they're probably
maybe
right
Jahmyr
behind.
Gibbs and
Yeah,
Um,
because Eckler's hurt, but I love Brian Robinson. I think he's looked amazing since he got in the league.
Yeah.
After getting shot and having the craziest
that's crazy to me too.
entrance to a league and then the craziest entrance to the field.
Yeah.
That walkout's still sick every
Good
time.
for him.
You've seen the Many Men one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what happened with the Niners guy? Right, got shot too.
Yeah.
That was a funny story because
The fact that he was just like, nah, that's my thing.
And
You're
then-
not taking it.
and he literally said no, and the guy shot him, and then he took his gun and beat him with the gun, and then just got up and walked to the ambulance. Like what? I mean, like seriously, come on, who does that? But
And like, I didn't think Ricky Pearsall was like, I wasn't that bought in on what he was gonna be. He's gonna be gross.
Yeah.
He's gonna be sick.
all right, so some other news. We've got Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah.
I think the best fit for him.
I mean,
I think makes most sense is Chiefs, right?
or the Jets.
My thing with the Jets, I don't think they're gonna pay him.
He wants to go back to a team where he knows the quarterback.
But I think the Chiefs
And
make the
I don't
most
think
sense.
the Chiefs fit like in terms of who needs a wide receiver and who would be most benefited. Chiefs.
and
Devontae Adams would love playing for Patrick Mahomes.
yeah,
I
you're
can
gonna
tell you
win.
that.
He has a ring, right? Adams got a ring.
Yeah. No.
He never got it.
No. They
Going?
didn't win. They won in like 2011.
You go in and you probably win a ring, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you bring in it's another stud wide receiver, right? You have your speed
I mean,
with
Rice
Worthy.
is probably out for the year.
Oh, they already put him. He's out. He tore his ACL.
Did he?
Another crazy thing, really. Patrick Mahomes just destroying his own.
No,
wide
I
receiver.
know. I mean,
But it is what it is,
means Kelsey will actually be fantasy relevant once again.
and that means Worthy finally gets his touches.
I don't think. Yeah. I think Worthy will be more of the same though.
I mean,
But like,
picked him
I
up.
really, it showed you. Rice was just taking everything from Kels.
Good. I mean, but he was there. He looks like a stud. Everyone thought he wasn't going to be that good last year. But
Who?
look at him now, Rice. I don't know. He had a poor beginning.
I was big on Rice because I thought Rice was gonna be that guy who came in and just after watching him actually play, he was the guy who was gonna come in and sit in the middle of the field, find those zones. He's very like the Puka Nakua, Cooper Kupp. Those are the two I always think of. Robert Woods,
Yeah.
who just like find those areas, those gaps of the field. Of course, I say 3 Rams wide receivers, but I really like how
I mean, yeah.
each one of them play. But he's one of those guys, and those guys are loved by quarterbacks.
Well, and I think the whole addition of Xavier Worthy really opens up the field for
Yeah.
him, right? You're going to send him on a deep route,
Mhm.
maybe a crosser, and now that opens the middle of the field for Rashee Rice to get open, or even Kelsey, just find a seam or find a soft spot in the zone.
Have you seen any of the Keon Coleman? He dropped a deep ball. Josh Allen, perfect throw. And it was Keon Coleman in the last game when they got destroyed by the by the Ravens. He dropped the deep ball and it's like, you did all this to pass on Xavier Worthy?
Yeah, I know. Keon Coleman's going to be good.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
I think it's just getting into the league.
Yeah. Sorry, to go back to Devontae Adams because we tracked off of that.
Fine.
I think it's the Chiefs or the Jets. Those are the only 2 teams that make sense for me. He says the Saints because he wants to play with Derek Carr again because the first time went so well.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and then people were like, "Oh, he's gonna go to the Eagles." No, he's not. Right?
no,
You've already got AJ Brown.
they got their guys. Just give the bye week a break. Calm down for once. Give it like
seriously. They're like, you've got AJ Brown, right? He'll be back soon. You've got
Devonta Smith,
Devonta
who's going to be
Smith,
back
who's gonna
next
be back.
week.
There's 3-1s if you pick him up. You don't need that. That's just
No,
gonna ruin your
that's
team
honestly,
chemistry.
you're going to get it Stephon Diggs at that point out of Devontae
And
Adams.
Stephon Diggs is doing great with the Texans. I thought he was gonna be a crybaby, but he's
Yeah,
getting his
because he
touches.
just gets all the red zone looks.
And Tank Dell's out, but
And Nico Collins, the man
Stud.
right now.
I mean, look at him, but look at Neighbors,
Yeah.
putting up second in the league for yards with Daniel Jones as his quarterback.
Daniel Jones is fine as long as they don't make him do too much.
And they talked about it, right? They talked about him slowing down the game for him, right?
Yeah, make stuff simpler.
When you watch him play, because me and my brother were at the game Thursday when they were playing,
Yeah.
he makes his first read. If it's not there, he just throws the ball away or he runs.
Uh-huh.
His first read is his throw. And it's fine.
the Tua.
I mean, it's fine. It's getting him, but he's going to have to learn. If that read's not there, look somewhere else.
But I think he has the ability to do that. I don't think Tua has the ability to do
Tua's
that.
done. Come
He's
on.
horrible.
It's just not. There's no way he comes back.
But no, I like Brian Dable finally looks like he has control of that team again. How I thought they were gonna run the offense like they did that year. Daniel Jones looked really good.
I think it
But
comes.
yeah, I love Neighbors. He's kind of killing me right now with the concussion. Because the league I have him in, I also have Puka Nacua and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, the league that you stole him from me.
Nah, that's it. That's my other league. I have him in 3 leagues. I was all in on Neighbors.
I have him in my one league.
But yeah, I'm excited for him. He looks. I don't. As a fantasy manager, I want to be like, no way. But as somebody who's a Neighbors fan, they need to probably cut back on his targets a little bit. Like some of these 5-yard out routes, other people will run just as well. Welcome back to Cham Talk on WNUW on College Radio Day. Me and Justice, this is probably one of my favorite episodes we've done yet. So make sure you go check us out on YouTube, TikTok. We're going to start getting stuff up. What we want to start doing is actually having me and Justice are each going to pick our games, log what we pick, and then we're going to see what the end of the year standings are.
Yeah.
So this week, we're just going to clear deck. We're going to do every team. We got
Jets.
13 games.
Yeah,
13 games. Yeah, I should have had the number already. We had 13 games for this upcoming week. So our record will be out of 13. We'll have some guest appearances from Renzo coming up in the following weeks. And then maybe we'll get some other people in on this. Should we get one of the the big boards of all the different people? We have people send in what their picks are.
You could.
Maybe we'll get some old guests of the channel like
Jace.
Jace.
back on here.
Yep. Should we get Gene? Nah.
Gene's, no,
No.
And
And then maybe we'll get somebody horrible like Owen to get on it.
no, thank you.
Yeah, no. I'm joking.
So to start, first game.
Jets Vikings.
Yeah, early morning.
9:30.
Go Hotspurs, right?
Tottenham.
You don't like soccer.
I love soccer.
Are you?
What do you mean I don't like soccer?
Who are you a fan of though?
Oh, like pro?
Like Premier League.
I don't really watch
You don't
Premier
watch
League.
Premier League? Okay.
No, I gotta get into it. But
Go Hotspurs, right?
it's one of the of course. Dude, there was this old game. Tell me if you ever played it. It was called like Foot Pack or something.
Nope.
And you used to collect all the trading cards for professional Premier League teams, and you used to get all the different players. It was basically like FIFA, but on your phone.
Okay.
Like FIFA,
like Madden Mobile, so like FIFA Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, dude, that game was so much fun. And literally all you do would just spam open packs.
Well, that's how honestly, like those games. That's how I memorize my players. Right?
That's how I knew so many soccer players for like 2 years.
Like I started getting into baseball really a lot, and I started playing MLB The Show. And
that's how I got into. That's how I learned a lot of like, dude. My 2012, because MLB 2K11 was quite possibly the best game I've ever played. I had so much fun playing that game, and The Show will never live up to that game. Never.
No, it's such a
'Cause
good game though. It's
The way the trading worked, it was probably 2K's best game. Even though 2K's ruining NBA right now for me by making their game not playable by
stop buying it.
people who likes. I haven't bought the game in 2 years because I love playing franchise modes, and they just totally neglected it.
Honestly, the only
So,
game, the first game I bought in the past like 4 years is NCAA.
Exactly. Like I haven't bought a game in a while.
Nope.
I might buy the new COD, but I don't really play that much anymore.
No.
And I was a big gamer. But no, soccer fan, dude. You're talking to a seasoned vet of men's co-ed soccer,
Here we
18
go.
plus.
Here we go.
I was in 2 leagues this offseason, battling shoulder and thumb injuries, so we had to go back to playing some soccer. I was just, dude, last winter I was on absolute tear. I was averaging 3 goals a game,
Here he goes.
one every game. It was amazing.
listen to
Don't
him.
ask how old the people I was
Don't
playing,
listen to him.
because they probably averaged 45 years old.
All right, back to what we were on. Sorry for getting off topic, but so we got
Dude, I love it.
Jets and Minnesota Vikings. We have Minnesota at -2.5.
Vikings.
Yeah, I think it's.
Skull.
I feel like it has to be the Vikings here, right? You've got Sam Darnold coming off a great game. You have Justin Jefferson coming off a great game. The team just looks.
I will
outstanding.
continue to bet the Vikings until they prove me wrong.
And the Jets,
They look like they have the best defense in the league and one of the best offenses. And teams that are top 5 in both usually have pretty remarkable seasons. Like, honestly, the Vikings right now might be my NFC favorites to win the whole thing. Who's looked as good as them? Honestly,
yeah,
the
I
49ers looked horrible. I mean, you're getting the Vikings on a high, and you're getting the Jets off a low game.
Yeah, but that's where it also comes in. That's a little scary, right? What if the Jets come in with a chip on their shoulder and just on a tear? But you never know.
I'm a big Sam Darnold fan
Yeah,
right now.
I think
I
it's-
literally,
I think
I'm not
it's-
betting against
I
Sam
think it's
Darnold.
going to be the Vikings. I think they cover. So, next one, Carolina, Chicago. Sort of just like we talked about these throwaway games that we don't really have much say in. We don't care about.
It's going to be Chicago, in my opinion. I think Caleb Williams took a big step the last 2 weeks, and I think their defense has been pretty good at keeping them in games.
I think it
they're going
comes
to
down
be.
to Chicago defense against that Carolina offense.
Yeah.
So I think Chicago is gonna win. The Red Rocket though, Sam Darnold. I think he'll be doing good.
He's-
So
Gross.
yeah,
Just kidding. I don't think he's anything that good, but I definitely think he was the right guy to slot in there to give. Oh my God, I can't even think right now.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Yeah.
Like you said, just needed some. I feel like he just needed a break. I just
And
think.
I
he
don't
needed
think his
some-
career's over. You see a lot of these guys. I mean, I said before, you see Gino, you see like these other
but
high draft picks
Every
like
single
Sam Darnold.
person, every single team was asking about him, right? So people want him. People believe in him. They're not going to trade him. They said we're not trading him.
So if you're ready? So if you're Carolina, do you personally, not based off what they said at all, because I don't think they're gonna trade him. It would be stupid to trade him. But if you're Carolina, would you look at what would you look to trade? Jeez.
What would you look in return?
What
for
would you
him?
look in return for him? And would you personally trade him?
If I was getting anything in return, it'd be a first rounder.
It'd have to be, right?
You got him in the first round, right? He's a first round quarterback.
He's first overall pick.
If someone's offering you a 2, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
2, no, thank you. Like you said, even if I'm gonna trade him, it's gonna be a 1, and it has to be a 1 where I believe this team is gonna give me a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah.
Because you're
At least 15.
because right, you're gonna have the probably numbered top 3 pick this year.
Because do you think he has a relevant future in Carolina? I do. I think he still has a chance.
I think they just have to build around him, right? Everyone's talking about, the Panthers are gonna go get Beck next year. Don't pick another quarterback.
yeah, and then
You
just
have to
throw him
build-
into the same
Get a wide
fire and get
receiver,
him.
get a
yeah.
lineman, right? Get pieces that are gonna help him build. You can't just.
I
throw
think
him to the
Leggett
curb.
actually looked pretty good too.
Yeah,
But I think they need to build that offensive line. I think they need to go get an offensive coordinator, man. I mean, you see what Cliff Kingsbury's doing with the Commanders.
Yeah.
How simple he's making it for Jaden Daniels to make it so he has those easy dump offs. He has those different running options. And then he he gives them those opportunities for deep shots that are actually reasonable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're actually built off of plays where you're getting one-on-one deep shots instead of trying to do these stupid things. So.
And that's where I'm not bought in on Jaden Daniels yet. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a game manager, right? And
No, I think Jaden Daniels is going to be elite.
I think he's more. He's not a pocket passer. He's more of a Lamar. He's not that good at throwing the ball. I think he's a good thrower.
He has much better accuracy than Lamar. He's not as much of a playmaker with his feet.
Like you've said,
But I think Jaden Daniels is going to be one of the better.
a lot of his throws are checkdowns, right?
And
there's
that's
nothing wrong
fine.
with that. But
I mean,
they're-
for now.
Yeah.
I think
he's
they're
gonna
doing
have to
it smart
progress.
where they're
Yeah.
working him up.
He's gonna have to progress to getting to the deep throws, and he had a couple last week with Terry McLaurin. But I think it's gonna come down to he's gonna have to start making
Just
those
the
plays.
run they're on right now, how impressive it's
Mm-hmm.
been. I all I've seen is Jaden Daniels just continue to back up the hype.
Yeah,
And I really see him as one of these great quarterbacks of the future.
it's those LSU boys.
Couple fantasy things for Panthers Bears. I think DeAndre Swift is a great play this week. That Panthers run defense is horrid.
Yeah, I mean, coming off a 30-point game too.
Yeah, they finally got him the ball in some good run sets. I mean, he even lost out on one of the touchdowns to Rashawn Johnson. I see him as anywhere from I think he gets about
20
15
plus.
this
I think
week.
he'll get 20 plus.
I think he's well primed to get that much. He just needs the touches. And then in the Panthers game, I really like both Deontay Johnson and Leggett for starts this week. That Bears D is pretty good, but they both looked really good last week. I think they're gonna get targets. And I think Leggett, if you can get him now, it's gonna be the cheapest he's gonna be.
I have 2 starts. I feel like I picked up the Bears defense, found them somehow in one of my leagues. They were on the bench, the number 2 defense in the league. I think they're gonna be great. I think it's gonna be right. You have what's the cornerback they have?
Johnson.
Yeah. No, is it Johnson?
Who?
The Bears.
Yeah, Johnson.
Yeah, I think he's really good. I think he's going to be great matchup with their number 1 receiver because, like I said, Deontay Johnson is not a true number 1. I think their run defense is really good, and for Chuba Hubbard to have a good game, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think that defense is a great start. And
Yeah.
then I like Rome. I like Rome here.
Really?
I do like
coming
Rome.
off of a 3-target, 1 catch for 10-yard
I think
game.
I think they're gonna incorporate him much more. Is Keenan still out?
No.
He's finally back.
Yeah.
But I think that number 1.
He's back next week too. Last week.
Okay. I still think Rome is gonna. He'll be a nice little flex, right?
Yeah. See, are you telling me to play him?
You
I have
have
him
him.
on my bench right now.
Put him in for Neighbors if Neighbors doesn't start.
I know. I honestly would rather. I don't know. I'm starting Downs with Joe Flacco playing this week.
Another big one.
I think he'll be good. But
I'm starting Worthy.
so you're taking the Bears -4.
Yeah, I got Bears.
Okay, I am too.
All right, next game we got Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Baltimore and Cincinnati.
-2.5 for Baltimore.
That's it.
I'm going Cincy.
Um,
I think they've had such a rough start. I think they're finally picking it up. I think Joe Burrow's figuring it out, going through his phase of whatever he's doing now. You know, the hair and makeup and everything else, whatever he's doing. But I don't think Derrick Henry has a game like he did last week.
all I keep seeing is that the Bengals defense is just horrendous. It's just they have not been good. And then their offense, it's been getting better and better. The addition of T. Higgins, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, and I think the Ravens just continue to not throw and just run the ball all over the Bengals. So I see Lamar. If you could put a bet in, put him over 60 rushing yards because it's basically a lock. If a lock was a thing, that'd be a lock.
There always are locks. Just like Baker Mayfield over 200 was a lock last night.
No, but I got Ravens -2.5. So that's our first.
Disagreement.
I've been taking the notes, so you gotta make some graphics this week, and we'll put our head to head. What we end up getting. What's up next?
Miami, New England. New England.
Let's
-1.
go Patriots.
I mean, it's honestly.
This might be up there for poopiest game of the week.
Who are you
For
taking?
poopiest game of the year.
Who are you taking?
I gotta go with the Patriots. How do I not?
See, so I was thinking it.
The Tyler
ahead.
Huntley is horrible, one. And two, the Dolphins are horrible. Once they get a quarterback who can make more than one read and actually make a throw more than 40 yards down the field, I'll pick them in a win. But they didn't have that with Tua. They didn't have that with Skylar Thompson. And they definitely don't have that with Huntley. Actually, might be the best of all three.
Yeah, so I was gonna say honestly, Huntley's
You're taking the Patriots, right?
no. I'm going Miami, dude.
Bruh.
I wanted to take Patriots.
Bruh.
Jacoby Brissett.
Is a dog.
No, he's not.
We're going to see some Drake May this game. That's my take.
When they're losing by 30 again.
When they're up by 48.
Okay. I like you said.
If the Patriots score 48 this year, I'll do the I don't know. I'll do
Nice.
something.
Well, Tyler Huntley, ex-Pro Bowler, right?
He sucks.
I don't think he's great.
That's a cupcake Pro Bowl. That's like a
But
Mitch Trubisky Pro Bowl.
You come into a team
You know
where
who
you
else
had,
is an ex Pro Bowler?
Who?
Mac Jones.
he was good.
He
until
was good that
wasn't.
year.
Yeah.
Until they gave him 2 defensive coaches as his
Yeah.
O coordinator.
But for Tyler Huntley, right, you're coming into a team.
He's horrible. He played last week and played horribly.
Yeah, but you come into a team where you had 5 days of practice. I mean, you saw it. They had so many penalties where guys were in motion and he didn't let them get set because he's not on the same page as them yet, right? You got to get there.
No, and he's horrible. So
I
I
think New
had the
England's-
Patriots.
I think New England's going to be a good game for him, right?
No. The Patriots, actually, the only thing I will say confidently about
Their
their
defense
team
is good.
is that they have a good defense.
But I think to play a team,
Tyreek Hill getting locked down by Christian Gonzalez.
that's fine. Jalen
Gonzalez
Waddle.
is nasty, though. Like, out of everything in the Patriots, you can say anything's going wrong. It showed that Gonzalez was a steal of the
Yeah,
draft
and he's
last year.
great.
Because
So,
is there any rookies that been as good as Gonzalez?
I was, as a Giants fan, Baker was really good last year, underperforming this year. It's sad to say, but
Is he?
DeAndre Baker, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. No, but I don't think almost anybody's looked as good
he
as
locked down
Gonzalez.
AJ Brown last year when they almost beat the Eagles the first game of the season.
And as a rookie, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got hurt, which was really sucked. But so you're taking the Dolphins here?
Yeah, I like the Dolphins. Eh.
I'm not taking the Giants anymore.
You haven't once.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I said Giant. What week did they win?
You didn't say Giants when they beat the Cleveland.
That's what I said. I said Giants
No,
are
you
gonna beat
didn't because
Cleveland.
you put it into my bet, and I had the bet still.
Okay, maybe
Next game, Cleveland, Washington. Washington minus 3.
Washington. I'm a big Washington fan too, and
Yeah.
I know you were just crapping on
I wasn't crapping on them. I think they're good. I just said I need to see more from Jaden Daniels.
I mean-
more of the passing game.
Can we talk about top of the division or what?
Yeah, honestly, crazy.
I mean, honestly, they've looked the best out of any team in there, and
I mean-
I'd almost put Giants at number 2.
if I'm being quite frank here,
Dallas is last.
yes.
They've looked horrendous.
I mean, yes, the Giants. Of
I mean,
course,
in terms of talent, I think Giants are the worst team in the
in
thing.
terms of talent, but of course the Giants go and play them, right? And somehow their defense doesn't allow 160 rushing yards for once.
Who?
but-
The Giants?
Yeah. No, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
rushing defense was horrible, and the Giants couldn't run.
Yeah, and Singletary.
I hate to. I'm never gonna blame the refs on a game. Like, I'm not saying we lost because of that, but those refs were
It didn't
horrible.
help.
Yeah, it was horrible. But I think, like I said with the Washington, you go into a game where, I mean, you should have another loss right now, right? You play the Giants. The Giants don't have a kicker.
Dude, this is Giants fandom right here.
Yeah. Okay. Dumb. I mean, I'm just saying, right? We lost that game, but you don't have a kicker. But like I said, he's looked a lot better since those first 2 weeks, right? The first 2 weeks looked
Who?
a little rough. Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
he looks
I-
great.
He looked okay those first 2 weeks.
I think
better
they're-
than
I think, like I said, with
Williams, but
Daniel Jones, they're making the game simple for him.
Yeah.
And then it's progressively going to have to get more and more
no,
better for
honestly,
him.
I could see. I don't know. I don't think the Giants are ready to make the playoffs quite yet, but I could see them next year. I think Washington wins the division and Eagles come in second, and Eagles come in the wild card, because I saw some stat the other day. This is related, but Jalen Hurts, they were talking about him, and they're like, oh, he has less interceptions than Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like, yeah, but he has 4 fumbles this year already.
Yeah, I was looking at that, like comparing the two.
I'm like, of course you're gonna leave out the 8 turnovers he has. I don't know. Mahomes has not looked great anyways, but he isn't. All this stuff right now for Mahomes is basically side quests until the playoffs.
I
And
say
he's
it
just
every year.
basically playing for
They're
fun.
not a great regular season.
No,
team.
it's
And
like
I got-
the Patriots all those
I
years.
got yelled at for saying that because they won 4 games, right? But they never blow a team out.
No, they and they're not doing it in this dominating way where their offense is doing all this. Usually it's their defense in the regular season.
So back to Cleveland, Washington.
I think Daniels is a must start.
Yeah, I think Washington's gonna win. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland.
Do you have them -3.5 or?
It's just -3.
-3.
No, I have Cleveland covering because I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland somehow pulls out of here with a win.
You would like Deshaun.
I think it's a must. I think it's a must win for Cleveland at this point.
How do you think Cleveland Browns fans feel watching Baker Mayfield be one of the top 5 quarterbacks so far this season, and Deshaun Watson still not knowing what to do versus not to do off field? We'll say.
Yeah.
And another allegation.
Talking about what he's doing with certain things, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just you gave him all that money. That's another mistake by the Browns. The Browns being the Browns, right?
Mm-hmm.
They always make the wrong move. And sorry, my uncle's a Browns fan. I actually might be going to see a Browns game in a couple weeks, but just making the wrong moves, right? You had the pieces, and you just let them go. So, I don't know.
But I'm excited to see. Hopefully Nick Chubb is back this game.
I saw him on fantasy.
I think one more week and then they'll bring him back. I don't see a point of rushing him back for this game.
I think he'll play this week, but I think he'll be limited to maybe 10 or 15
he was
snaps.
Full participant in practice.
Yeah,
him and Hawkinson back.
I did see Hawkinson was back, which is huge.
Their practice window got open, which I love because one of my leagues right now, my bench is currently Nick Chubb, Hawkinson, Pacheco, Devonta Smith, and oh my God, there's another one. I'll get back to that. But basically, my whole teams are my bench is my starters in shambles. I'm projected 95 this week, and it's a 3 wide receiver league.
My one league I had
my bench right now is Chubb, Ridley, Pacheco, Smith, and Hawkinson. And Ridley's not hurt, but he's on a bye. So I kind of need some bench spots. I'm starting Alan Lazard and Tutu Atwell this week.
I've tanked down Xavier Worthy starting this week because Malik Neighbors. And
if Takedown plays.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I still think there's a chance. Neighbors, it's going to be, if he practices today, I think he plays.
Yeah.
But it didn't sound like they're really thinking he's going to practice.
Yeah, he doesn't want to rush it. Like you said, you have a star. Why rush? Ruining.
So
we're both taking Washington here?
Yeah, and I love Brian Robinson this week too. I think he's gonna do very good. Jerome Ford's a good start. I do think they'll be able to score some points on this team.
I also wouldn't be.
I think Amari Cooper and I think Judy's been a little under the radar start, consistently putting up 10, 12 points.
I wouldn't be surprised if that Cleveland defense plays really well, right? Because
they have a good defense,
and the O-line for the Commanders is not great.
And
right?
Myles Garrett is the biggest beast I've ever seen.
You also have who's their cornerback? What's his name? I love
Ward.
him. Yeah, Denzel Ward's amazing.
And don't they also have who's the old Giants lineman, the big one?
Leonard Williams? No, he's on the Seahawks. BJ Hill maybe?
No, I don't know. Well, skip that. But yeah, I have the Commanders covering the spread. I think they win by more than 3. I think they're just going to continue to score until you got to wait until they get figured out offensively.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
That's who it is.
Dog. I used to love him. I had
his
jersey.
Though.
Yeah, I had his jersey.
I think by about week 10, you're going to see the Commanders start to slow down because once a young quarterback gets figured out, you got to change.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens in the first year. Sometimes it's the second year. I think that's kind of happening with C.J. Stroud right now.
Yeah.
But
it still looks good. But
okay.
Next game we have Colts Jacksonville. Jacksonville -3. Don't ever doubt Joe Flacco.
If Joe Flacco starts, I'm taking the Colts. If Anthony Richardson starts,
Anthony Richardson
is he playing or no?
I don't think so. I thought he was out. Let me see.
Yeah, double check that. But I think the Colts are a much better team when they're not quarterbacked by Anthony Richardson.
You were high on him for fantasy too.
I think fantasy-wise he's pretty good, but he hasn't ran the ball this year either.
Nope. Yeah, I think he's scared too because of what happened.
No, where'd I have him in fantasy?
I think you had him at quarterback number 3.
No, that was Renzo. Renzo had him high.
I had him low. I did not believe.
I had him 8 to 10.
We can look at the spreadsheet.
But no, if Joe Flacco plays, I have the Colts covering. I have the Colts winning straight out. I don't know how Jacksonville is favored in this game, unless Jacksonville might be at home, but they don't really have a home or fans. So, I I don't know. I really like if JT doesn't play, I think Sermon, who I should pick up in this league if he's available. I don't know if he is playing or not, but he might be.
Who's killing me is ETN. I'm trying to get rid of him so bad.
Yeah, he's not looked the same, and that offense is just horrible.
Yeah. So I think we both have. I don't even have Colts covering. I just have them winning.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're gonna.
I have them winning outright. So
next is Buffalo Houston, another great game. Actually a really good game.
Buffalo Houston.
I think it's
the Colts real quick. Joel's Jaguars. Can we talk about how nice it is to finally see them throwing the ball to Christian Kirk again?
Oh yeah.
Like, what you're paying the guy so much money for a guy who probably shouldn't have got that much up first, but he has proven to be really good. Thankfully, you're finally targeting him, and ever since they have, with him and Brian Thomas, they're looking good again.
Love Brian Thomas. Picked him up in fantasy.
So you take the Colts too?
Yeah, I have Colts. Like I said, not even just covering, winning. So, next is Buffalo Houston. Like I said, I don't know.
I mean, Buffalo's coming off a bad game.
It's -1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you came off a game where the first play from scrimmage
it was an 87-yard touchdown.
Like, what do you now? You're like, oh shoot! Like we're in a situation where we have to fire back, and they weren't able to.
So the Bills are favored at Houston.
-1.
Yeah, they're favored.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a 1-point spread.
Yeah, so it's like basically the least you can get.
I think it's gonna be Buffalo.
With the total being 47.5, I think that's blown by.
I think it's Buffalo. I think they come back with a win.
Yeah, after that, I really like what Buffalo's been doing this year, limiting turnovers. Josh Allen I think his stats might not be as good as other years, but I think in terms of football, this is Josh Allen at his best.
Yeah.
Limiting turnovers, running the ball smartly, throwing the ball away when you need to.
You look at it.
And throwing some dots when you gotta.
You look at it, right? Everyone's saying, they're not going to be good because Stephon Diggs isn't there. Who's Josh Allen going to throw the ball to? He just looks like he's having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think he was miserable with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, because he was like, I gotta throw it to him.
He's in his ear every second.
Yeah,
so I mean, you're on a team where all them just look like chemistry-wise, it's just perfect. Like they're all
the more I've watched Stephon Diggs, the more I'm like, this guy I can't stand.
I loved him at the Vikings. I don't know if you remember the miracle in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Because he wasn't complaining, receivers. And then he was like, once he asked for that trade, we
went money hungry. So
yeah, and I mean, the Vikings definitely got the better end of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, you got Justin Jefferson.
I mean, imagine Justin Jefferson on Buffalo.
He'd be sick.
Yeah,
but
like I mean, they got their franchise quarterback in Minnesota now.
Hopefully,
I mean, honestly, I'd give a bag to something certain. Sam Darnold having a great year, I'd give him a 3-year contract. Well, I'm not that big of a JJ fan.
Well, you got JJ McCarthy.
Like, would you? JJ McCarthy is literally worse Sam Darnold.
He's not good.
He's literally less arm talent Sam Darnold. I never
liked. And you look at it, it's like now you look at it, it's like they went and took JJ McCarthy with that number 4 pick? Was it number
12?
Number 12.
No. Yeah, 12.
Right. Okay, so now we have. We have a franchise quarterback. We just wasted a pick on a number. They didn't know it. Right?
No.
So I think you got to. I
did.
I think you trade JJ McCarthy.
I
think you.
I don't see them getting enough
out of return.
But the thing is, it's like Sam Darnold. Honestly, can go anywhere he wants now. Yeah. How much is he gonna get? Probably a Geno Smith type quarterback contract.
Why trade him? Like you have
a guy. He's a 1-year deal.
But why trade him after? He has. Why let him walk? Yeah. I get you got JJ McCarthy, but if you have a guy,
I wouldn't. Sure thing, dude. I'm giving him a $45 million contract offer yesterday.
If Sam Darnold stays at the high he's on, maybe if he drops a little bit, but if he stays where he's at, I think you have to keep him.
You have to. And the thing is, he's leading the league in touchdowns right now.
And yards, right? Or is he?
I'm not sure. I can't be sure on that one. I think it's technically Kirk Cousins right now, but the way, just his ball placement, his confidence, his calmness, and the plays he's making. I mean, dude, he looks amazing. I was watching him in the pocket just move around. The one play where he threw, it was something to Jefferson. I mean, having Jefferson definitely helps, but he stepped up in the pocket, turned his whole back, turned back, to dodge the defender and then threw an absolute rope
Yeah.
for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's leading the league in yards.
No, he's down there. You got
He doesn't
Kirk,
have to
Kirk
because
has, yeah,
he
Kirk,
blows them out.
Kirk 1,300, Gino 1,100, Baker 1,100, Brock 1,100, Dak 1,072, CJ 1,000, Jared Goff 1,000.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold has. I mean, their defense has been so good. They set him
Yeah.
up in perfect position.
And they-
I bet they had the highest red zone rate
and
right
they have
now.
a running back, right? You have a running back who can run the ball. So.
Yeah. I mean, they got. I think both of them are good. I think Ty Chandler's decent too.
Yeah.
So
So who are you taking, Buffalo or Houston?
I'm taking Buffalo.
I
I think Buffalo has a bounce back week. I don't think the Texans are as good as we thought they were going to be. CJ Stroud looks decent, but not amazing. And I think the rest of that team looks okay.
I think
I don't
it's
know.
a good
Their
team.
run game is unimpressive without Mixon. So if Mixon's back, maybe they jump up and get this win. But I have Buffalo on a bounce back week, running all over the Texans team and probably putting up 30 plus.
All right. So next we have Vegas and Denver.
So we're gonna after the break.
Okay.
We're gonna hit that after the break. Vegas versus Denver. You're listening to 98.5 WNUW LP Aston on College Radio Day. College Radio Day. Good start so far.
How's that cinnamon bun?
About an hour into the show, it was pretty good.
No
It was
complaints?
it was creamy.
Ocean City Coffee Company.
It's sticking to my hands a bunch. So, yeah, Ocean City. I've been loving that place.
It's good. I think it's smart for the school. I was going there.
Oh my
last-
god, it's a great investment. Like, right on campus, easy access.
Well, me and Anna had been going there in media for the past 2 years. I
Oh,
would
really?
go there. They have a in media. They have a nice little coffee shop.
It looks like
Um,
they would have like that, like, you know, those like coffee shops you always see in the show. I feel
Yeah,
like it'd be that
Then
vibe.
you had the seats. Like we would go there and do homework for 2 hours. Just sit there and hang out.
It's really nice. I like me, Connor Hurley, and Ben Gibbons have been going and just we'd sit there for like 2 hours on random days and just like watch people go by, drink coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good. Get back on topic. We're all over the place.
Yeah, we're coming back with the Raiders Broncos game. This is probably game of the week type level.
Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be the game of the week. Yeah.
Denver's favored.
Of course they are. Vegas. Who do they have? Right. You've got Devontae Adams.
Are the
is
Broncos
out.
at home?
Yeah.
Oh,
Devontae
okay.
Adams is out. Max Crosby's still out.
I'm surprised Brock Bowers hasn't got more targets with Devontae Adams being out.
Yeah.
It's that
But,
that's
I mean,
been
you
one
gotta
part
think
that I'm like.
he's still tight end number 2 on
I think
fantasy
he's
wise.
3 technically.
No, he's 2. I was looking at it. Number 1 is Dallas Goedert. 2 is him, and then I think Isaiah Likely's after.
Kittle is
3. I have Kittle. Kittle's 3.
Kittle's 3.
Likely
But I was sorting by average, so
Okay.
Bowers is 3 by average or something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, but you know, he's a good. I've been getting rid of him though in my leagues because I have Trey McBride and Kittle, right? And I think the Raiders are just gonna fall off. Soon.
I think McBride's gonna be better than. I'd still take McBride over both. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd take him over. I think Bowers has tight end 1 potential this year.
my thing.
I
is,
just don't know why they aren't getting him the ball more. With that team, I think Trey Tucker's actually looked really good. Trey Tucker's looked really good for that team. He looks like he's like a difference maker and playmaker for that team. And then Zamir White's looked awful.
I picked him up in fantasy. I got him like.
Oh
round-
no! If you could pick him up off waivers right now, that's
Well,
actually like
I was
a
getting
little
him in
sneaky
round
pickup.
14, 15. So you know, it wasn't like a.
I don't know how, but
It's a lot. I didn't even know who he was until this year.
well, he had a really good end of the year last year. But
Yeah.
one thing I love about the Raiders is, Pierce, their head coach, the news that just came out about him. Did you see? He's basically banned from the NCAA for 8 years, because of illegal or improper like.
Coaching.
No, not coaching. Recruiting. Like he had guys on overnights or something when it was like COVID and you weren't supposed to.
Oh.
And I'm like, this is why the Raiders as like jail, like
Yeah.
like that's why he's their coach. I'm like, it makes perfect sense now. I get it. So I'm taking the Raiders here. I think they'll cover the spread. I think the Raiders win this game. Even with me liking the Broncos, I don't think they win.
No, I think Denver's gonna win.
I am hoping for a big Javonte Williams game.
And that's who I was gonna say. I think
looked
he's
good
gonna
last
be a
week.
start. I think he's gonna be a start. I got
Yeah.
Devontae Williams in one of my leagues. I traded away Travis Etienne, got him.
Straight up, that's a pretty bad deal for you.
No, I gave up Etienne and Brock Bowers, and I got Javonte Williams, George Pickens, and then someone else. I forget. There was one more person.
Better be somebody good.
I like George Pickens. I think he's gonna get points.
Yeah.
I mean, Etienne hasn't. He's averaging like 9 points a game.
No, I know.
And like I said,
He might be a guy if the Jaguars can figure it out a little bit. It might be a buy low guy, but right now I think honestly he might be getting outplayed by Tank Bigsby, and they don't look like they're using him well. So
yeah, I think Javonte Williams is a must start this week.
yeah,
At least flex, right? If you're not gonna,
he's the guy I slotted in for Neighbors in one of my leagues.
yeah.
And I'm not, well, taking out Neighbors I'm sad about, but like he's not the worst guy to plug in there.
No, you're gonna get at least 10 points out of him. I think.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna average 10 points. If he
Because
overperforms,
he catches a lot of balls too. So
Pause. Sorry. So so we both have Denver here. We're gonna take both.
Jeez.
No, I have Denver. You have Vegas.
I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think Brock Bowers has a little bit of a rebound game. I think Zamir White might finally get some wheels under him, but who knows?
Next we have Arizona San Fran. Nice little matchup. Little divisional matchup.
I'm missing the Cardinals actually being good
It doesn't make sense to me.
because they're the most inconsistent team
They should be great
of all time.
right? Kyler Murray's,
No, their defense is horrendous.
but their offense should be performing.
yes, their offense should be better. It's.
I
don't
get
know.
that Call of Duty just came out, right? Kyler Murray's probably playing that in his free time, not practicing.
That's when he plays best, though.
But my thing is like you have a great quarterback, decent if not great. You have a stud, wide receiver 1 with Marv. You have a stud running back. What's going on? Why are you not?
And you have depth at wide receiver too. You got Dortch and Michael Wilson who are both
They
good.
can both go flip flop.
Maybe it's because his guy Trey McBride wasn't there last week.
But even before
Because
that,
McBride was my favorite.
yeah.
I think he's a stud, and I think their other guy's pretty good too. Their backup tight end.
I picked him up in our sleeper league just for
he looks
got
pretty
me like
good
14
too.
points.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Arizona just on a weird little.
San Fran 7.5 though for a divisional matchup. I almost want to say this game's gonna be close. I think San Fran's gonna win it, but I'll actually take the Cardinals covering the spread.
I think Cardinals cover, but I think San Fran wins. Like you said, Jordan Mason. I said it when they traded for CMC, right? He's a game changer. You can't doubt that. But you go and trade for the best running back in the league when you could put someone in there that's still going to perform, right? You have the best.
Yeah, but the stuff CMC
No,
does for
and
their offense
I will
is
say,
insane.
I will say, but they sold their soul, right? You sold your soul for that team to perform, and if you don't win in the next 2 years, what do you have after that?
Yeah, I don't think McCaffrey's back till the playoffs. Don't tell the other fantasy managers in my league that because I want as much Jordan Mason as I can get. But
That's the thing. I think it comes down to you could have put someone else in there, but like you said, he's performing. He's in a guy, and
Yeah.
I think it's what the Rams did.
he's one of the guys who opens up the field so much just by being on the field.
Yeah.
You don't even have to use him.
Well, because you got to stack the box if he's going to run.
You have to stack the box,
And if he's-
then if he starts running a route, that's 2 guys on him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Debo, Kittle,
Yeah, you have Debo,
and Ayuk are all
and
single
Juwan
covered.
Jennings. We talked about Juwan Jennings.
Jennings looks good.
We said pick him up off the waivers. He then goes and drops 35 points.
I don't think we're that high on him, but
we said pick him up.
oh yeah,
right?
we were like definitely go pick him up.
Debo
but-
and Ayuk were both out,
yeah, he was an easy pickup that week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
but no one expected him to drop 35. What, 3
Oh, no.
touchdowns, something like
3
that?
touchdowns, 180 yards,
Yeah.
and 12 catches. Like
Yeah.
just ridiculous video game type numbers.
So San Fran, I think is a definite win here. I
Yeah.
think you're gonna have to start Mason, right? I think that.
But I think it might
Arizona
be a
run-
little closer of a game.
I think
No,
that Arizona-
Mason's gonna destroy there.
I-
They're gonna
they
run
don't have a
all
good
over them.
I should never traded him to you, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, Terry McLaurin.
I didn't
Is
need a running back,
nasty.
like I said. I have Kyron Williams, James Cook.
You had the running back depth, and you didn't have as much wide receiver depth.
Yeah, I needed it.
And both Shakir and McLaurin are going to be very solid players.
Well, and
Both top 20 wide
Well, it's
receivers
funny,
this year.
My team in our league is amazing, honestly.
My team is until I lose all the time.
Like-
Actually, I'm 3-1.
Renzo giving me Devon Achane didn't perform last week.
Well,
but
A-Chain's gonna be bad for like any weeks where they don't have a quarterback. But I think he'll be better with Huntley then. They just need to
A-Chain-
start throwing him again.
Achane, Kyron Williams, Mike Evans, CD, George Kittle, James Cook.
Sounds like a second place finish.
Yeah, I'm number 1 in the league. I don't want to hear it.
Are you?
Yeah.
I thought I was.
No, I have 100 more points scored than you.
Did you see me lose in our dynasty league by like 0.5?
I don't really look at that. It's just so hard. I go in there once a week to just set my lineup.
It is
It's so
harder, but like
confusing.
I like dynasty is really fun for the long term.
Yeah.
Like you really get like connection to players and like
Yeah.
I just need to make a trade in that league because I have Pollard sitting on my bench every week and I'm like this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't want to trade away guys because next year I might need him.
Derrick Henry.
And Jordan Mason might be horrible next year.
Derrick Henry is single-handedly just carrying my team. I was down 30 points last week.
Jaden Daniels is carrying my team. His comeback on the game where he threw that deep ball to McLaurin,
Yeah.
that won me the game.
Yeah.
I freaked out. Okay, what's next?
So we have Green Bay, Los Angeles.
Yeah, this was my game
Green Bay
that I'm
minus
excited
3.
for. I'm taking the Packers all day.
Yeah.
I think
Jordan Love looked great last week, right?
They-
Coming off that
honestly,
injury.
I don't know why. Are you taking Packers minus
Yeah,
3?
I'm taking Packers.
I don't know why they aren't keeping that run heavy approach. I mean, last week they were kind of forced to start throwing, but keep the run heavy approach. And now, instead of having Willis in there, who's not as good as Love, now you have a guy who can throw. This should be so much better for you now. Willis, you had the read option and all that, those opportunities, but having Jordan Love in there, I mean, man, you're going to be able to both throw and run effectively now.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs has been underwhelming. He hasn't got a touchdown yet, really, but Dontavian Wicks, I love. Jaden Reed, I absolutely love.
Yeah, Jaden Reed's going to be a
I
must
said
start.
it. I said it at the break to Joe. I said, anything over 80 plus yards, hammer it. Jaden Reed, I would almost guarantee he gets another 100-yard
And
game.
That Los Angeles defense hasn't been the same, right? You know, you lose the best defensive tackle probably to ever play the game. You don't get the pressures you want, right?
And
Their
I think
secondary's always been suspect.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Jared Verse has been really good for them this year.
Yeah.
And the other D tackle they got last year, the rookie who won Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's been really good.
He didn't win last year, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Who?
Are you talking about on the?
The Rams.
Yeah, last year he won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
The
I thought
the
that
D
was
tackle, he didn't.
no. I thought what's his name from the Houston one because didn't two Houston?
There's an
win?
AFC and an NFC.
I thought it was all the same.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't
I'll look
know.
it up. Hold
No,
on.
he was in there though. He was
Yeah,
in
I
there
think he
though. He
was,
was one
but-
of the better players in that draft. But yeah, I like the Packers. I think the Tutu Atwell's a good spot start for the Rams. I think he's gonna emerge as their wide receiver 1 with Puka and Cooper Kupp out. Kyron Williams is always a beast.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
He's good. Yeah.
he's really good. I think Kyron Williams is just gonna continually just be consistent
I
for
love
you.
him.
Gonna put up somewhere between 10 and 30
Yeah.
and average out at 20.
Got him in like the 3rd round actually.
I don't know how I don't know why so many people are down on him. I get it in a keeper league format, why you'd be like scared of him because of Blake Corum, but he's the guy.
It's his 3rd year? He's not old, right? He's young.
Yeah, it's only his 3rd year. He's young. It's just them getting Blake Corum, and Corum's barely even seen the field. They've really been leaning on Kyron.
If it
lead
ain't
this
broke,
team.
why fix it, right?
Exactly.
There's no point.
They're like the Niners though, where they just love plugging in a bunch of random guys every year.
Well, and I think it's so funny, right? Talking about selling their soul, team that sold their soul, right, to go all the way, and they did it. They got the ring.
If you get the ring, doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter, right? And it's like
It's all worth it.
But for them to go out and get Puka, right?
Amazing pick.
How did that happen, right?
Yeah.
You get Puka, you have Kyron Williams still. It's like the team, everyone's like,
They
oh,
just got to be healthy.
they
They're-
did sell they have to be healthy, but you say they sold their soul.
It was better than how the Tampa Bay Bucks went and sold their soul.
Yeah, but they're again
The
another
Bucks
team on the
rebounded
come up.
really well.
Yeah,
Don't
another-
get me wrong, but they
So-
spent so much money those years.
So I think we both have Green Bay covering and winning. I think
I
that's
do. I think.
auto.
I just think the Rams are just too banged up right now.
We can skip over this next game. if you
What?
want. New York, Seattle.
Let's just put in our picks. I think
Seattle wins.
yeah.
I think cover. It's 6.5. If you don't have neighbors, what's the point?
Yeah,
Right?
true.
I mean, there
Yeah.
goes your whole offense. As much
Yeah.
as I love the Giants, just because I am a Giants fan, but I think if Neighbors doesn't play, I think they blow them out. I think if Neighbor plays, I still don't think they win.
I don't either.
I think
But
it's a closer game, but
I like Wandale Robinson. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I need to start him now. Neighbors isn't playing. I think Wandale Robinson honestly gets worse
Yeah.
when Neighbors
he's
doesn't
not
play.
a one, you know?
Because he's not a one. Yeah, exactly. So, but I still think he's playable. I just don't. I think he's looking at 6 catches for 40 yards.
I will take DK over anything this week, right? Like you said with Jaden Reed. Like I said, not DeAndre Baker. Sorry. What is his name? Why am I forgetting? Their cornerback one.
It's your own team.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking DeAndre Baker. He's the guy that got arrested.
Well, one of the Giants.
Deontay Banks.
Oh, okay.
Just got absolutely toasted by CD Lamb last week, right? He hasn't, like I said, hasn't looked the same. So I think, he's gonna have a field day on
Yeah,
him. I
Seahawks
think
will
DK,
cover.
Yeah. Dallas, Pittsburgh.
Dallas, Pittsburgh. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know here.
Dallas is horrible against. Wait, Pittsburgh's home, right?
Pittsburgh's home. Yeah.
Dude, Pittsburgh. I've never seen such a bad team be so good at winning.
I think it comes.
I mean,
down-
their
it's
defense is
defense,
amazing.
right?
Mike Tomlin, I give the guy credit all the time, because how do you control a team that has Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger for so many years and barely get into trouble?
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole
The
thing.
CTE Kings.
But they'll keep winning.
Yeah, I don't think Dallas wins. Like I said, they looked poor against the Giants.
They're not gonna win at the Steelers.
No.
And they don't look good against teams that are an actual over 500 win team. Like if you're playing a good team, the Cowboys are not gonna win.
Well, and you look at Pittsburgh,
They'll
right?
destroy bad teams
Well,
and lose to good
the
teams.
Cowboys are out Micah Parsons. They're
Oh,
out
yeah. Cooks.
Lawrence.
No Lawrence. No Brandon Cooks.
He's out.
Yeah. So they're missing 4 of their bigger
Trayvon
guys.
Diggs got banged up against the Giants. So I know they had a 10-day break, right? You got a nice little long break.
Yeah.
But, okay, now what?
A lot of guys aren't playing for them. I think CD will do well still. I think you're really still not starting
'Cause
any of the Cowboys running backs.
I think Pittsburgh has an okay secondary. I think it all comes from their pressure.
Oh, yeah,
and
their pass
getting
rushes.
to the quarterback.
You
and
don't have to be that good
No.
in the secondary if your
if you
pass
can,
rush
if
gets
you
there
can,
so
yeah,
fast
in
every
2
time.
seconds, you don't have to play much defense. So
Isn't one of their offensive line, one of the Cowboys' linemen's out too? So
really,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I know Zach Martin's still in, right?
But yeah.
So
But yeah, I see the Steelers winning this game. I see Justin Fields being a pretty good spot start.
I'm starting him over Kyler this week and CJ Stroud. I picked him up in all my leagues.
That's I don't know about that, but
Kyler Murray, I don't know.
I like Kyler. I'm
do
always
too,
gonna
but
be a
he's just been
Kyler fan. I think he's
underperforming.
gonna be good
And
this
like
week.
I said, against San Fran, I think it's a
I can see. I see why. And then Joe texted me earlier. He said no football at Applebee's is crazy. LOL. I agree, Joe. I agree. And then are we got to the last game?
yeah, it's
Saints
our final
Chiefs.
game. Saints Chiefs.
I mean, the Saints really just fell off after the first week. I don't know how you bet against the Chiefs any week. They're just consistently that team that's consistently good. I think they cover the spread.
I personally like the Chiefs. I'm a big Pacheco guy. I'm a Rutgers. I love
mean-
Rutgers fan.
Pacheco's hurt, but
No, but I still will always be Pacheco
I'm
fan.
a big Chiefs fan. Actually, my friend, I'll give him full credit, was all in on Mahomes out of college and really convinced me to like Mahomes before he even played a game for the Chiefs.
Well, you've got all these especially being from the right outside of Philly area. Everyone hates the Chiefs, right? Because they beat them, and they said the refs gave them help, right? I hate the narrative of blaming the refs for every game.
Because the refs can't change. If you really outplay a team,
You'd
I
beat
mean,
them by
I think I can't even remember that Super Bowl. I feel like
Remember, it was the
happens.
James Bradbury hold. He held him, right?
You can't get mad when he holds him.
Could have not been a no call, yes. But
Yeah.
Was it in the definition of the rule book? Was it a hold?
happens
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah, it's just
Football is such a fast sport, and it's a sport where angle is king.
well, and that's
You have a good amount of refs out there, but literally it depends on the angle of which ref sees it
When
if it's
was
going to
it?
be called or not. It's not like all these other sports. It's not
Right.
like soccer where you always have like a decent angle.
I saw
or
when they played
whatever.
the Ravens. I saw everyone saying, "Oh, blah blah blah. The refs did this.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs played."
Yeah.
Why did he didn't catch it in
It's
bounds?
it's almost like his foot was out of bounds.
Yeah, to think that it was inbounds, you're crazy. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then the pass interference, he hit him from behind, right? I get you're going for the ball.
Yeah.
It's a bang bang play. So if the ref throws a flag, it's a flag, right?
He got there early though.
Yeah. And then last 2 weeks ago, when the other pass interference in the end zone that wasn't called, another bang bang play where you don't see it, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
don't
I
know.
get-
it happens.
I get
It's-
you're like, oh, it's the
And
Chiefs,
don't get me
but-
wrong, the Chiefs are probably gonna get a couple extra calls because they're the team right now. But happens in all sports, and at the end of the day, I don't think it's the reason why they're winning more games.
Just a good team. Just a
Um,
great team, actually.
Yeah, I think the Saints they've looked good lately, but I think what's really killing them is Taysom Hill being out. You hear he fractured his hip?
He was back last week. Did he get hurt
Fractured his hip this week.
again in that game?
Yeah,
Jeez. I mean, yeah, he had a
Um,
touchdown last week.
two
He had two, really.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They've looked good under Kubiak. I think he's been really good for them for their offense. But at the end of the day, it's still Derek Carr. So
Yeah.
even if he plays 2 good games, he's still a bum.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kansas City, some starts for them. It's gonna be worthy.
Yeah, you gotta start Worthy. You gotta
And I
start
think
Kels
you
as
start
always.
Kelsey. I think Carson Steele
And I
could be a
think-
little
I think-
flex.
No,
You don't think so?
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, he's
14
playing this week?
carries for 69. He played last week. 14 carries for 69 yards, 3 catches,
Yeah,
put up about 12 fantasy points.
you're gonna
Like
perform in this
Kareem
team,
Hunt's
right?
gonna be the guy
Yeah.
for this team going forward until Pacheco's back. If you can go pick him up,
I even think
he's a pretty good
I even
spot
think they're
start.
gonna keep Kareem Hunt as a backup. When
No, they
Pacheco's
will.
back.
They will for sure.
I think they'll
'Cause
give
he
him
looks,
another little
He looked really
contract.
good last year,
It's just
or last week.
he won the Super Bowl with them, right? He was on that team, or was he
No,
before he kicked his kid or whatever?
yeah, I don't think
He
he's
came
on the
with them?
team. I don't know if he's on that first one or not. I'm not sure.
Take a
But
look.
yeah, I like Kareem Hunt. He's one of those guys that I think he just fits
Yeah.
what the Chiefs want to do. Being able to both catch the ball and run the ball at a pretty good level. And he still has some left in the tank, so I think he's going to be a pretty good spot start for the next couple weeks. I think you're starting all the same guys for the Saints. You're still starting Kamara. You're still starting Olave and
I
Shaheed.
don't know. Shaheed is just on the fence for me, right?
He's been consistently good though.
Except for the Eagles game where he dropped a big fat goose
Yeah,
egg.
he's zeroed. But like it's like the Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. I
Davis
think
is-
he's a good
Gabe
start.
Davis is weird because like Gabe Davis had one good game every year where he dropped like
Gabe
40
Davis
points.
is horrendous.
Like, he
He's
dropped-
one of my least favorite players in the
It's
entire
always
league.
funny because you'd see him on the waivers. He dropped 40 points. Everyone would try and pick him up. They'd start him. He dropped 3 points.
Yeah,
It's like-
I never did. I
you-
never picked up
it's
Gabe
just
Davis.
he had that one good game where it was like, wow, okay, maybe Gabe Davis is good.
He would always flash like the skill,
Mhm.
and you'd be like, dang.
Yep.
And he's always a good blocker,
Yeah.
which you don't get anything for fantasy points. Ask Mark Andrews, but Mark Andrews is a fat sit this week too. He's looked,
Yeah.
not very great.
You want to just throw out a couple starts we got from the games? Who you
Yeah, I
must
think
start?
I think the Packers game. You look at that one. I think both Dontavian Wicks and
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed are both starts. I think Kraft's a good start. Dobbs is the one I kind of on the fence about, but definitely Tyler Kraft. He flashed real potential last week. He's the guy I tried to pick up in a lot of leagues. Going to the other side, I think Tutu Atwell will be a pretty good start. Looking at some of the other games, Ravens, Bengals, right? I think Zach Moss, you're throwing him in your lineups. I think Chase Brown too. Both of them are going to be very solid in that game. I'd start both of them.
Yeah.
Bills, Texans, I'm starting Shakir. I'm starting Keon. I'm starting the tight end. So there's a couple of good guys in each of these games. I think the Patriots, you might finally see something happen on their
Maybe.
offense.
It's just
I think Polk might be a guy who has a pretty decent week and kind of jumps up the rankings a little. Maybe Hunter Henry. And then I don't know. I think Andy Dalton's good. No, actually, no.
honestly, I think Tank Dell's gonna be a good start. I think he's finally gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Get back into his rhythm.
Finally get off the. He's been hurt the last
because
2 weeks.
Buffalo has some good 1s and 2s, right? You know.
Yeah, they're all right.
Like I said, Worthy's a must start. You've got a guy with great speed.
Yeah.
I kind of like Keon Coleman for Buffalo.
Keon Coleman. Yeah, I
Not
do
gonna
too.
lie, I think if they can get the ball to him and he
He
can
had a
figure
big
it out,
drop last week,
like you were
but
talking about,
with
but I
that
think-
with that catch, he would have been over. That would have been a 10-point play basically.
yeah.
Couple quarterbacks to throw out there. I think Justin Fields is a pretty good start. I think Geno Smith is a good start. And then I think Joe Flacco might even be a pretty good start.
That's a guy if you don't have,
So-
if you need someone, right? I'm not picking him over your usuals, but I think if he's,
If you're in a deep quarterback league,
If you have Richardson,
I'm still
right?
taking Geno and Justin
Yeah.
Fields, which I think are going to be out there a lot. But
yeah,
And then I think for a couple spot starts, running backs, I think, as we said before, Kareem Hunt. I'd go with Zamir White if he's available. Javonte Williams, which we kind of hyped up.
yeah.
And then if you need anybody else, I'd say kind of screwed. No, I'm
I
kidding.
kind of like Jerome Ford too.
Jerome Ford, yep.
I don't know, that Washington defense, that run defense isn't as good as people think.
I think Justice Hill is another guy.
I saw
if you're
him
in a tight
in
squeeze.
a couple leagues starting. I was like, what about him? But
I mean, he's been basically the receiving back full time.
Yeah,
and
he had what, 6 receptions last game?
Yeah, and Lamar is horrible at throwing the ball, so like he can only really throw
Check
check
downs,
downs.
yeah.
So,
I don't know.
but yeah. Anything else to wrap up the show?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good week of football.
Yeah, pretty good week of football. Me and Justice. For me, I got the Vikings, Bears, Ravens, Patriots, Washington, Colts, Buffalo, Raiders, Cardinals, Packers, Seahawks, Steelers, Chiefs covering the spread. And then Justice got the Vikings, the Bears as well, differing with me on the Bengals, Dolphins, Cleveland. And then we agreed on 2 in a row, the Colts and the Buffalo. He then had the the Broncos. Then we had the Cardinals, Packers, Seahawks, Steelers, Chiefs.